Leaving the Jehovah's Witnesses is a rather interesting experience because the control that that organization has over your life is profound. They are an invasive species for your mind, an ivy growing all of these weird little vines and stuff that find themselves in the most interesting nooks and crannies of your brain. And at various stages during your waking up or your leaving process, you hit these weird little milestones, like the first time you're in a grocery store paying for something and someone says Merry Christmas and you get to say Merry Christmas back, or first time someone has a toast and you could cheers people. There's all of these little milestones. And even after you leave and have been out like me for 10 years, you can still have these little moments where you read something or you see something and you will be flooded with emotions and memories that just make you smile. They might make you happy. They might give you some PTSD, whatever the case is. But today, this is something that really made me laugh and smile. And it has to do with this weird but this weird conversation that happens and is very common amongst Jehovah's Witnesses about when it's appropriate to say thank you. I wish I was joking. I wish this was like clickbait, but it's not. There are times when it might not be fully appropriate to say thank you because you might be taking too much praise for yourself and not giving enough to the governing body and Jehovah. So lock in. This one's going to be pretty interesting. Hello and welcome back to the JW Thoughts channel. My name is Wally and today we are looking at the Jehovah's Witness version of Reddit, where people believing Jehovah's Witnesses go on there and talk about their Jehovah's Witness life. And I saw a thread that was a portal to the past. It was great because I've had this conversation multiple times throughout my history as a Jehovah's Witness. And the thread title was, is it appropriate to say thank you after being commended? So quickly before we get into it, don't forget to drop a like on the video. It literally takes a half a second and it makes a massive difference in how the video performs in the YouTube algorithm. If you're on mobile, hype the video because why not? And subscribe because also why not? With all of that being said, let's get into it. Okay, quick note, this is an online forum so people from all over the world can participate in it, and obviously English isn't everyone's native first language that they learn as a kid, so we'll just kind of read through. There's, it always happens, but yeah, we'll not get too bogged down with any grammatical errors. All right, this thing kicks off. How do you react when you are commended? We are very often encouraged to commend and praise others. It's upbuilding and shows our love and affection of them, but how should we respond to the words of commendation? Every now and then, when I commend or hear someone coomed, I think you meant commended, others, the commended brother or sister say, "That's not them. It's only Jehovah." I understand and support that view. After all, we are good-for-nothing slaves. But I feel wrongly that taken to the extreme, it's awkward. A few weeks ago, I commended a brother for a balanced and well-thought funeral talk. It was after a few days. His reply was, "No, it's only Jehovah." He said that in such a voice that I felt as if I did something wrong. I felt really awkward and confused. Honestly, I felt like saying, okay, next time I'm not going to say anything. Of course, I said nothing, maybe only grinned. Am I wrong? Is it bad to at least thank you after that direct praise to Jehovah? Maybe it's stupid what I'm saying, but I feel sincerely confused. Now, I am going to hazard a guess that if you made it this far into the video, this also unlocked a memory in you. As soon as you heard that, it's not me, it's all praise goes to Jehovah. When I heard that, it was just emotions and annoyance. And anyway, I'll get to my story about this at the end because it's pretty funny how I had to navigate this exact same situation. And old school Wally back in the day wasn't as I don't know how I should put this, as a socially refined individual. And if you know me, I'm not that socially refined currently, so if you could think it's even worse back then, yeah, it was a real mess. So trying to navigate this was fairly interesting for me, but I'll save that to the end. So this is a pretty honest question, though. It's like, why can't you just say thank you? Why do you have to push this and be like, oh no, I'm just a good for nothing slave. All praise go to Jehovah. I don't even know how to talk. I've never spoken a word in my entire life. It's as if Jehovah just put in his little USB drive in my butthole and that just gave me the download so I could give this beautiful talk. I tell you what. So people are annoyingly over the top in their humility when they receive praise. So that's kind of the gist of what he's getting at. So then one of the replies is, I feel both are perfectly acceptable, especially when used together. Here are 2 examples. I gave a talk from the platform that was well received. Someone comes to me and says how they enjoyed it. I say thank you and usually follow up with something to the effect that I couldn't do it without Jehovah's help. 2, I completed the seam in a carpet at a Kingdom Hall build, and someone says how nice the job looks and the seam can't even be seen. I say thank you and leave it at that. After all, I was a professional carpet installer and my seams should be invisible. So this is like a very practical Jehovah's Witness. This person hasn't gone all the way to the Looney Tunes side of it, where you're just annoying people by following every single detail that Watchtower tells you how you should live your life, and then following those suggestions to their logical conclusions. When people do that, they are extremely annoying. Like this guy says, I lay carpet. I've been doing it my whole life. I'm a professional. Why would I say, oh, I couldn't have done it without Jehovah? It's like, well, when I was, at the local grocery store or something laying carpet, do they even have carpet in grocery stores? Why of all things did my brain go to grocery store? The one place where I'm pretty confident I have never seen carpeting a singular time in my life ever. Wow, that's fascinating. Anyway, y'all know what I'm talking about. Let's move on. Now, this is a little bit of a sidebar from the main quest here, but I did find it interesting how this person wants to basically combine Jehovah and the governing body into one entity. So we won't read the whole thing, but this sentence here, but after expressing appreciation, such as saying thank you, we could then make a brief expression that is sincerely humble, not just for show, and direct gratitude / commendation to Jehovah and or the governing body for a way or ways in which they helped us with our part, talk, assignments, etc. And then they go and mention this even later. There might even be an ulterior motive behind the flattery, so in such cases, this is when we maybe saying thank you could be replaced with only directing attention, gratitude, appreciation, first to Jehovah and or the governing body for the excellent instructions or outstanding outline or the awesome spiritual tools. This is fascinating because this person says it's and or. So hypothetically, theoretically, what this person is saying is, oh man, you did such a great job. And a reasonable response to them is, oh, I couldn't have done it without the governing body. It feels like being in a weird, like different religion. I feel like this never would have happened 10 years ago, where you say, thank you, man, I really appreciate that talk that you gave, da-da-da-da-da. And the person's response is they look at you and say, oh man, I couldn't have done it without the governing body. Oh, all praise be to David Splain and Stephen Lett. Couldn't have done it without those guys. I feel like I would have just walked away, just be like, well, all right, never going to talk to you ever again. It's so strange. It's so weird how the normalization of ordinary Jehovah's Witnesses looking at the governing body as angels on earth, as representing God himself. And I feel like that's just been normalized through, I guess, seeing them all the time on the JW broadcasting, no doubt, and then how they talk about it, right? Because we hear more and more from them that it's like Jehovah, the organization, the governing body. And they sort of, I mentioned in a lot of my videos, they use all three of those and they'll intertwine all of them and combine them to where it's like this one mass. But enough of the side quest and back to the main goal. This person has a pretty interesting response. It's encouraging to remember that Jehovah wants us to build one another up. When someone offers sincere commendation, they are giving a gift meant to strengthen us, not test our humility. That's not true there, pal. That is, in my experience, that is absolutely not true, because I knew for a fact that there were elders who would test people maybe looking for a promotion or on the border of getting a promotion. And this was something that they would use. They would use how they react when given commendation. Do they direct praise to Jehovah, or do they direct all of the praise to themselves? Circuit overseers, when examining the qualifications for elders, will use this exact same tactic. Now, just so it's not me yapping and saying stuff, here's like a little proof of what I'm getting at. Back in 2011, before JW broadcasting, where they would show the Gilead graduations, they used to have articles in the Watchtower that would talk about what was said during some of the talks. And here in this one, they're talking about a speech that Brother Morris gave, Tony Morris. Second, Brother Morris read Proverbs 27:21, the refining pot is for silver and the furnace is for gold, and an individual is according to his praise. He explained that as gold and silver need to be refined or purified, we may be refined by praise. How so? Praise can be a test of character. It may lead to pride and a spiritual downfall, or may move us to acknowledge that we are indebted to Jehovah and to become more determined never to fall short of his standards. Then Brother Morris urged the students to take any praise they might receive in the right way as an opportunity to prove that they have the proper dread of Jehovah. That's pretty funny coming from Tony Morris, who got kicked out from being a governing body member, never to be heard from again, or at least so far. So yeah, this is something that would be used as a test. So it's funny how a Jehovah's Witness is trying to like defend the conversation that's happening or something, and you're saying like, oh, well, surely no one would use this as a test, when quite literally people use this as a test to see if someone is or should be in line for a man, words are tough today, promotion to some type of privilege or anything like that. And another person throws their coin in the well. Many good answers here already. It does feel dismissive when someone doesn't say thank you after being given modest appraisal. Someone mentioned sanctimonious, yep, but I'm sure they didn't mean it that way. They just didn't find the right balance. I know there is a video of this somewhere about a circuit overseer in that situation being given appraisal, all right, that spilled over into flattery. He started by saying, thank you, I couldn't find it. Anybody know where it is? Well, of course I know where it is. So let's actually take a look at that, because it helps like open this door a little bit further.
Father is right. You are wise beyond your years. Do you think your time in prison prepared you?
I definitely had a lot of time to meditate, so I guess it might have matured me a little.
You were there nearly twice as long as most of us. We can only imagine how difficult those years were for you.
Is it true you never saw your father again?
It's true.
You must be very strong to withstand that kind of pressure.
Yeah, I suppose so.
I wish you could be our real circuit overseer.
We heard good things about Brother Ilyin.
Many good things. We hope to meet him soon.
He's okay. But he's not the man of the people. You have suffered, like us. You understand us. We need someone like you.
Brothers, I appreciate the praise, but I really don't deserve it.
Yes, you do.
No. The praise should go to Jehovah. It is only because of his power that any of us can serve him the way we do.
It's true. It's only because of Jehovah's Spirit. He deserves the praise.
And remember, Jehovah is the one who chooses those who serve in the congregations. Each of us has strengths that others don't have, but Jehovah sees them all, and he knows how to use them to advance his will. So we must trust Jehovah and be determined to appreciate the ones he has chosen to use.
So I find this pretty interesting, because here this circuit overseer, the substitute circuit overseer, is being told, man, we wish you were our real circuit overseer. We feel like you would be better. And that's kind of an interesting thing to say, right? Because if people are saying, oh, we think you would be better, inherently that must mean that there's something wrong, or they have some type of negative feeling or experience with their current circuit overseer. And that circuit overseer is in a position where they are viewed as a shepherd to the flock. So they're looking at the shepherd, over on the grass is always greener style, over on the other field, and seeing how he works with his sheep and he's so loving and caring. And then they look at their shepherd and, oh crap, he's behind me about to beat me with a stick again. And they're tired of getting beaten with a stick. They just want that. And so I feel like that could be a valid point that someone might have. Here, this person who's in a authoritative position over hundreds, if not thousands, of Jehovah's Witnesses, depending on which circuit they're a part of. And we don't like the way he's doing it. But in Watchtower's mind, there's no democracy. There is no challenging the order. And so they have to have this guy, or portray this guy as like, no, Jehovah puts everyone in a different place for different reasons. But is that true? If people see the qualities that they want and they feel like they would be better served by him, that might be true. If you've been a Jehovah's Witness, you know what it's like to have a circuit overseer that's annoying and comes up with these crazy rules that no one wants to follow. That's just like, oh, the circuit overseer's coming. And it's more of a headache than it is spiritual refreshment. And conversely, we've probably had an experience where you actually like your circuit overseer. He seems pretty cool. He seems pretty chill. He is someone that you really connect with. And so this is a very normal experience for someone to have, but Watchtower has to smash that and say, no. Jehovah is the one that's doing it. I mean, the governing body is the one that puts these people in place, and they should be respected no matter what. And that is what I feel like this really gets at, is that it's not about the ability or capacity of an individual to perform and do their job to the very best of, their ability, or to a satisfactory level for the people being served by the one doing that job. It's not about that. It's about, hey, they're there, so deal with it. Just deal with them no matter what, because it's all Jehovah. And it takes away like the humanity, the autonomy, the people to envision themselves as playing a part in their life. And instead, it replaces that with, no, you are a cylindric piece on a checkerboard for the governing body or Jehovah to move around. And I think that's why they want Jehovah's Witnesses to have discussions like this. They want people to be so concerned about how they even say thank you, that it creates like this paranoia where you have this, like multiple page thread talking about, oh, well, it could be a sign of a lack of humility. It could be a sign of that, because they want to take the individuals out and remind them that they are pieces in this game that's being played. So now I think that pretty much covers the general vibe of what's going on here, but I got to tell my own story, because this is something that annoyed me. Everyone that has ever been to a Jehovah's Witness meeting has encountered the spectrum of speakers. There are people that are engaging, that feel qualified, and they are presenting information in a way that's easy to listen to. And there are those that don't do that. There are those that go up there and they are dry toast, plain oatmeal, gray paint in your house. Everywhere. Just boring, unenthused. They're mailing it in. There's no feeling behind it. And your mind wanders, it drifts. It's thinking about a basketball game later. What was your workout routine? What you doing this Saturday? Your just mind wanders and drifts because the person is properly boring. And so, in my little immature head, I looked at this situation and thought, well, why is everyone saying, oh, thank you, you did such a good job? when people weren't. Like, people would demonstrably give a terrible talk, like really boring and terrible. And I would see like multiple people going up to them. Oh, thank you so much. I really appreciate it. You did great. Oh man, that was so good. And I thought, what? Why are we encouraging this person to keep doing a bad job? We should say nothing. If we said nothing, they might have a moment of self-reflection where they think, oh man, maybe that wasn't that great. Maybe I need to look inward and think about how I'm presenting the material. That would be a natural correction for the problem. And in reverse, I thought, okay, never, ever give praise to someone unless it's specific. If you're going to walk up to someone and say, oh, thank you, you did such a good job, I really appreciated that, you need to have something more. Give them a specific point or way or whatever the case is. And so when I would give a talk and someone would just give a blanket sweep, nothing, I would just look them in the eyes and say, well, what did you like about it? And to me, that was, okay, if someone couldn't tell me something memorable about the speech that I had prepared and given, they couldn't tell me anything about it, it must have been bad. So that's how I kind of worked at my speaking ability. You know, screw all of that theocratic ministry school. This was the Wally ministry school of, you know, practicality. How are we gonna do the thing and not just talk about the thing? So that's how I did the thing. I would look people in the eye, and if I got nothing in response, oh God. But, you know, and that happened. And as time went on, I noticed with almost 100% accuracy, multiple people would be able to give me very specifics. And unfortunately, I did this also in like more than a one-on-one situation where someone would be like, oh, I really enjoyed that talk. But I was like already like standing there and I'd be like, oh, what did you like about it? Even though I wasn't personally involved. And that obviously didn't go very well because the person was just trying to be nice. And I think my brain couldn't quite handle the process of sometimes people are just trying to be nice. And it was thinking like, well, no, why? There's got to be a reason. So anyway, I had some really fascinating hyper fixations on this, but it did cause a few problems. So one time, someone hit me with a reverse Uno card. Put me on the spot, like I had put them on the spot, and by asking them a specific, oh, well, what did you like about that person's talk there, pal? I know you're saying thank you, or you're being appreciative and now offering commendation, but what was it? Well, they hit me with that, which I hadn't really calculated exactly. And someone that didn't give a good talk, and I just wouldn't say anything. You know, I don't want to be rude and go in someone's face and just tell them that they suck. But that person hit me with, oh, what did you like about the talk, Wally? And me being me, I said I didn't really enjoy it. I thought it was flat and boring. It was the funniest thing. Because I don't care. Like, you asked, I'll tell you. That's how I was more so back then. You ask, I'll just tell you. I'll tell you straight like it is. I don't care. Anyway, I think I might have just crushed this person. If this person's listening, I'm sorry. I needed some growth and work back then. But it was an awkward situation of just like telling someone, no, this thing that you prepared for ostensibly for weeks was really awful. Yeah, but I think in the end, maybe it really just demonstrates that not everyone should be on a stage in front of 100 or 200 or several thousand people and giving talks. Like, some people just aren't good at that. And we shouldn't measure a person by their ability to do something that maybe just is not naturally within their comfort zone. Like, why is someone's ability to present information that's given to them by the Watchtower and Bible Tract Society of Pennsylvania a measure of that person's character? It wouldn't be in any other situation. In a normal situation, people utilize your specific talents, and you can focus on those specific talents and experience the growth that way. And then you'll, achieve a personal success. Whereas in Watchtower, they already have the roadmap. You have to follow it and do things specifically their way. Maybe your genius or your thing is Administration. Well, no, that doesn't matter because you can't find a clever administrative solution to a problem that might be happening within a congregation or several congregations. You just have to follow the rules. So it, again, like I said before, it takes the person out of it, this whole cultural phenomenon. It just removes the person and you just become that checker piece. And I'm not much of a checker piece type of guy, so no wonder I had some problems with this. But I'll tell you what, this drove me crazy as a witness when people would not accept praise and would just reflect, oh, it's just Jehovah. I'm like, no, I like this talk because you said this thing and I thought it was a clever, and you use this example and your timing was good about this, and the way you used your voice to lift enthusiasm and then have some calmer moments. Like I would give specifics, and then when someone would just turn around after I'm like doing all of this and, you know, taking all these mental notes, like, oh, all praise to be Jehovah. I'm like, he didn't do that. He didn't do it. He had nothing to do with it. Because I know when I prepared talks and I got better at it, I knew that it was nothing to do with anything coming from the governing body or Watchtowers. I was doing this own little experiment on my own. So it's just, the proof is usually in the pudding. And just eat the damn pudding if you're looking for the proof. So it was an interesting experience. I find the whole concept of offering praise and then it being redirected to an invisible force that had nothing to do with the situation just absurd and strange, and it just disconnects you from the people that you're trying to connect with. So anyway, that's just me yapping about some weird random subject. Hope you guys enjoyed it. And with all that being said, stay safe, be kind, and don't forget to spend more time loving the things you love than hating the things you hate. Now go out there and have a good ass day.